Actions scream over our words. In 1917 was not the year. United Airlines was in a pickle. In 2017, David Dow was forcibly removed from a United Airlines flight after refusing to give up his seat. On the way, his head struck an armrest and he went unconscious, at which point he was dragged off the plane by security officers while the crew stood by laughing. All of it was caught on video and shared on social media and reached an audience of 7 million within a day. 80% of those who saw it said they would never fly with United Airlines. United Airlines' tagline was, "Fly the friendly skies." But in that moment, their actions screamed over their branding. And what they needed wasn't just new branding. What they needed to do was something brand new. The night when everything was going to go down, when Jesus was going to be betrayed and ultimately hung on a Roman cross, he's sharing a meal with his closest 12 followers, and he's preparing them for what's about to happen. So while they're eating, Jesus pauses and he looks up and he looks around at everybody. And he says, "A new command I give you, love one another." To which they're all thinking, like, that's not new. We were there that day when the teacher of the law came to you to challenge you and asked you, which is the greatest command? And we heard you. You said, like, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and all your mind and all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. You said it. You said that all of the law and all of the prophets, everything in Scripture hangs on or is application of those two commands. Like, this isn't anything new. To which Jesus would have said, "But I'm not through. Love one another as I have loved you." Come on, remember how I've loved you these past 3 years. Remember, Peter and James. Remember when you guys were cleaning the nets on the beach and you didn't have much of a future. Nobody paid any attention to you. Remember when I called you out of that life and invited you to follow me. And Matthew, remember when you were sitting at the tax collector's table and everybody hated you and looked at you as a traitor to your nation, and I walked up and I invited you to follow me. Remember when everybody was starving that day, when everybody was hungry and there wasn't food for miles around? Remember when I provided for everyone? Remember how I've loved you? And they're all like, yeah, like, of course we remember that. But they had no idea that in the next 24 hours, Jesus was going to show them the full extent of his love. After being betrayed, he was going to be put on mock trial, beaten within an inch of his life, and hung on a Roman cross to show the entire world the extent of God's love for them. That the God of the universe has come to show and demonstrate his way of love and invite the onlooking world into it, and not force it upon them, but to demonstrate that he is gentle and he is humble and he is kind, and he will never infringe upon our freedom or autonomy, even to the point of allowing his own creation to nail him to a cross, to show that if he's willing to die for us, then he is for us, and he will never lift a finger against us, even when we're at our worst. The God of the universe takes the best of who he is and leverages it to invite us into the best of who we can become. That his love is self-sacrificial, and he self-sacrificially leverages his best for ours. And within 24 hours, as I have loved you was going to mean something brand new. And Jesus looks around the table and he adds something that should just make us pause, and we should just sit with this and chew on it and let it steep. Jesus says, "People will know that you are my followers, my students, not by how much you know, not by your theology, not by your doctrine, not by what you say, but by how you love one another." That people should be stopped in their tracks and say, those must be followers of Jesus. Look at the grace, look at the forgiveness, look at the mercy, look at the generosity, look at how they love one another. Jesus intended to create a community that wasn't going to be known for what they knew, but what they do. That he was going to create a community of people and put it on display for the entire world to see what it looks like when people live in self-sacrificial love for one another. The entire world would see that this is how we were created to live. It was going to be beautiful, and it was going to be unstoppable. Jesus hadn't come to rebrand a religion. He'd come to create something brand new.